Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you all had a lovely week. This week we are all about seeing the positive within the negative, or learning to see the beauty in our pain and suffering. Now, the first thing that comes to most people's minds when they hear this is, why would I want to see the beauty in my pain or suffering? If I'm upset, it's because something bad has happened. So why should I try to see the good in that? Now, to me, these points are not really valid because when you break it down, if you are upset or in pain and you want to continue to be upset or in pain because, well, why should you be happy? It means that you are choosing to be sad. It means that you are choosing to be upset, choosing to be miserable, and the only person affected by that choice is you. If, for example, you are upset because you woke up, stubbed your toe, got into a fight with your spouse, and dropped a plate, meaning effectively that you have had a bad morning and a bad start to the day, you are at this point most likely thinking, why me? Why is my life so unfair? However, you choosing to be upset, for example, at the fact that you stubbed your toe doesn't affect anyone but yourself. You choosing to be upset doesn't take away from the fact that it happened. It doesn't in return hurt the piece of furniture that you stubbed your toe on. No, all it does is keep you down. All it does is keep you living in that painful moment of when you stubbed your toe and makes it much harder for you to move on and rise above it. So, by choosing to not want to see the beauty in your pain, you are only hurting yourself more, creating a barrier to your own happiness. Which really does sound quite silly when you think about it, doesn't it? Taking a slight detour, this week I'm back reading the Yoga Aphorisms of Patanjali, and the book mentioned an interesting point which links onto the above. It mentioned that the mind of the truly illumined man is calm, not because he is selfishly indifferent to the needs of others, but because he knows the peace of the Atman or God Spirit within all things, even within the appearance of misery, disease, strife, and want. So, if we dissect this statement, it is basically saying that even when things go wrong, or when bad things happen to us, there is still a divine presence, or something at work that is greater than ourselves. It is basically saying that even in our pain, even in our suffering or anger, the God Spirit is still present. Now, I believe realizing this makes pain and suffering so much easier to deal with and manage because it makes you realize that if this is true, then there must have been a reason for what happened. There must have been a reason for your pain and suffering, and therefore it is not in vain and it is not going unnoticed. I think when you realize this, it makes it so much easier to at least try and not associate with your pain. And once you start being able to do this and look at what would have traditionally been deemed a bad thing in an indifferent manner, it becomes much easier to manage as you will no longer get sucked into that hole where bad things just keep on happening. If something bad happens, try to see the beauty in it. Try to realize that it was caused by something bigger than yourself, and realize that if you do associate with it and think, why me? It just makes it so much harder for you to deal with. So the next time that something bad happens to you, try thinking, oops, or even laugh and find humour in what's just happened and then carry on with your day. If you start to do this, then you will find that all of a sudden life becomes so much easier to deal with. You will find that you will become unshakable and immovable, and will find that life will get just a little bit brighter. Now, wouldn't that be nice? Well, that's it for this week, guys. I hope that you found the topic of finding peace within misery interesting, and found a way to better manage or navigate your own pain and suffering. Tune in again next week as we talk about the idea of unity and what this means. As always, I hope that you have a magical week, and thank you guys so much.